Hi you guys, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be looking at some examples that magnify the pettiness of Tiffany Henyard, okay? So if you guys have been following this whole Dolton/Thornton Township drama, you know Tiffany Henyard can be very petty. So I'm just going to lay out some examples and we're going to look at some past events that show how deep the pettiness runs, because it runs deep, okay? But before we get into it, if you're new here and like what you hear, go ahead and leave this video a like. If you're a returning subscriber, please remember to leave it a like as well. So let's get started. Trustee Kiana Belcher knew someone who was trying to open up a business in Dolton, but Tiffany Henyard doesn't like Trustee Belcher, so there was some issues with the permits.
Now let me get to talking about how she was extorting certain businesses. Okay, so Rucker Holden was bringing a cigar lounge to Dolton. Just so happened, Kiana works for him in his other businesses. But because she don't like Kiana, Trustee Belcher,
they'll try to make a law as if it can hurt me or hurt the people. They'll make a law. One being the business licenses and permits. And then the problem I have with that is Trustee Belcher, she keep trying to get her friend to open up over in our community.
She's not going to give Rucker what he wants.
I'm a business owner and I own probably multiple homes in Dolton right now as well. I purchased the buildings across the street with the new windows for a cigar lounge. I also purchased the restaurant, the old barbecue house, and the corner lot as well. My plan was to put a cigar lounge there. That's what we started the rehab. I'm $600,000 in, and we paid our taxes. I didn't act the village for no fines.
He told me, he said, I'm trying to get my business together, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, I just heard your building was not compliant.
My problem is when I came up here to get a permit, I was told that my permit was denied. Don't know what reason. Followed all the procedures, filled out the proper paperwork.
That's what I was told. He said that's not true. He had it investigated. He had it, inspected. Everybody, it's been inspected 5-6 times. He was in compliance. She just didn't like him. Came back in. I was asked to speak to you. Instead, I got the young man right here, Keith. He told my contractor that we were still in lights. Had my lawyer call ComEd. That was false information. Second thing that I did as well was we also contacted my lawyer as well as far as the ordinance that you guys gave me saying that I couldn't have a cigar lounge in the city of Dolton. We went back, me and my lawyer looked at the videotape saying that that ordinance that I received from the young lady that works here, it was falsified documents.
So yeah, according to Dr. Nikita Cloud, Tiffany holds up permits and doesn't allow people to open up businesses depending on who she likes and doesn't like.
All I'm asking now, I pay my taxes. All my properties here, taxes I paid up. I'm $100,000 in taxes over a year in Dolton. All I want to know is why I can't get a permit to finish rehabbing across the street. We the only business on this block with new windows. But all I want to know is how do I move forward with my business? That's all I want to know. So do I have to schedule another meeting besides without this guy right here? But have a meeting with you, with my lawyer, you have your lawyer. I do not want to meet with this man Keith at all. At all. I got 30 seconds. One of the trustees who worked for me, Mrs. Belcher. Since Ms. Belcher worked for me, I was told to fire Ms. Belcher in order to get my business open. I refused.
The problem I have with that is Trustee Belcher, she keep trying to get her friend to open up over in our community.
I refused. I refused to fire Ms. Belcher to keep in order to get my business.
Just so happened, Kiana works for him in his other businesses.
Never asked a dime from Dolton at all. We didn't ask for no evasive anything, and we still keep getting denied. Instead of using the contract that I usually use, we came and got Dolton contractors. The old inspector that used to work for you guys that still trains some of your inspectors works directly for me, and I pay him to do consulting. Instead, you still deny my contract. So I'm just trying to figure out why is that being done. And that's other things that we can't talk about on a one-on-one basis. I will never, ever disrespect you or throw you under the bus. We didn't have words before.
She's not going to give Rucker what he wants. In fact, she told him, if you don't get your in order, I'm not giving you what you want.
Wasn't in a form like this. I would never put that out there. But all I want to know is how do I move forward with my business? That's all I want to know.
So naturally, Tiffany Henyard being the stubborn person she is, DeAndre Rucker had to sue her. And as I was looking at this lawsuit between Rucker Holdings and the Village of Dolton, there's Tiffany Henyard named on here, Keith Freeman, and then there was another name, and that name is Samisha Williams. And she used to actually work for the Village of Dolton. And while her name is listed as a defendant on here, the table soon turned and she turned around and had to sue Tiffany Henyard as well. I can't make it up, you guys. But let's go ahead and listen to this interview that I found on the Dolton Trustees YouTube page, which is an amazing YouTube page. They got a lot of inside information because they actually live in Dolton and they have to deal with the nightmare that is Tiffany Henyard. All right, let's listen to her talk about some of the things that she had to deal with while working under the administration of Tiffany Henyard.
Some of you may know me and some of you may not, but I'm Samisha Williams. I'm 43 years old with 2 children, a single mom, a homeowner here in Dolton.
I know she wants to say I'm a black woman, and it's because I'm a woman. You know how many women that she's affecting?
I worked for the Village of Dolton for several years as the director of the building department. I was illegally fired while on FMLA. A police officer came to my home to serve me my termination letter while on FMLA. The letter had no author, no reason for termination, and no signature. So I emailed Keith Freeman, the village administrator, to verify the validity of the letter. I received a response that stated that my termination was valid. I was on FMLA because my mom, my grandmother, and both my in-laws all passed away in 10 months. Also, at that time, I was dealing with health issues and I was going through a divorce. The mailer also stated that I'm a disgruntled employee. Well, I am, but not in a way that you may think. I'm disgruntled by how the administration treated the employees, the residents, the business owners, and even the contractors. No one should walk into a government office with questions and concerns and walk away feeling defeated. We were told as department heads several times on a daily basis not to help this person or that person because of personal issues.
Now, things I've seen, I can confirm that she and he told us to hold the warrant list from the trustees. You know why? She said, because we are at war, and how do we give our opponent resources to help them? War?
We couldn't give business owners their permits or their business licenses.
What brings me here today, I just learned of this meeting a couple hours ago when I met Mr. William Moore, to check on the status for business renewal for 44 Sibley Boulevard. This is the Citgo gas station. Mr. John Matthew, good friend of mine, is going through a dire situation there where his business license, like all the other business licenses, expired April 30th of this year. On April 4th, Mr. Matthew applied for the renewal of his alcohol beverage license and his general business license. And till this day, the renewal has not been granted.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Chin, and I'm a new resident. Just purchased a home over on Blackstone. And when I purchased the property, I was told there was an inspection done on the house, and it said I had 4 months to bring it up to code. I put up an escrow, and the inspections were completed October 12th, and I was told I was going to get back my escrow check, and it's been almost 2 months now. So I just wanted to know about that, because whenever I call, they can't give me an answer as to a date when I'm getting the money back.
The easiest thing to do is nothing at all, but most oftentimes it's not the right thing to do.
And I'm saying this in front on camera, recorded, said she said it, I was going to, war, we are at war. I can't give them anything to help them.
I'm not, and you definitely always include me in everything, I'm not opposed to your decision of business license. What I'm opposed to is this was the direction that you were going for the village. These are people's business. It should have been a letter 6 to 9 months saying that we're looking to go in a new direction for the village.
My name is Tyrone Isom Jr. I purchased the property in November. It's 1031 East Sibley in Dolton. I applied with 3 two different LLCs. They denied the first one, they denied the second one.
When Keith Freeman told me that he's going to give me all the permits and put me in a position where I start working on my property, about time when I met with him again, he told me, "Who are you and do I know you?"
I put my money in escrow waiting to get the zoning information on what you guys want me to do with the building, but still nobody really responded. They called me and said you got denied, but I'm looking like, if I got denied, can you guys send me a letter and let me know why I get denied? And they told me they couldn't do that.
Don't wait until it's time for them to renew their license and leave them on this spinning journey of just hanging and not telling them what you're trying to do.
Tyrone Isom tried to open a barber shop and then a pigmentation studio in this space, but he says the building inspector told him Henyard blocked the project. He ended up selling the building to stay afloat financially.
And you have people who are willing to put their money where their mouth is. They'll put their sweat and hard labor and their money into a business, all within the parameters of the law, trying to bring in business into the village of Dolton. And because, for whatever reason, the mayor doesn't want it. And as Tyrone had told you today, he was told at the end, nope, mayor wants that property.
So I'm like, I don't want to say, I got a commercial property. And I was here January 4th or 5th when you had a meeting. And I was explaining to you guys that my son got a transplant on the way. The transplant actually is in a month. So now my wife is going to be in the hospital with my son, and I got to have 4 of my kids with me. And my barbershop is so small, I cannot take care of 4 kids in my business. That's why I want to get my building together so they can actually be in there while I work, so I can able to support them while my wife in the hospital with my son with the bone marrow transplant. So now the transplant is in a month. I don't know what to do. They're not passing the permits. They're not giving me any information about the zoning. They're just having me in limbo.
You know, the village, if they're planning to go in a different direction, if they have plans for certain properties, they should do that. Instead, they're leading people on. They're having them in this limbo. They're just, they're not communicating back with them. They're saying they need stuff. They're saying they need certain things to get permits, but then they're still not communicating what those things are. As you heard him say, they denied him. He asked for a letter. They wouldn't even give him that. I'm just like, okay, this is some real other level of corruption as far as I could see. But does Tiffany Henyard care? No, because he ended up having to go back and sue the village.
I'm a private investigator. I've got some books that says Super Mayor. Inside I have from the United States District Court, Northern District of Illinois, Tyrone Isom Jr. to you as both personal and in your role as mayor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you much, you sir.
Exactly, appreciate it. I get sued all the time. Y'all stop it.
And now a new lawsuit alleges Dolton officials gave a barbershop owner the runaround in improperly denying a business license.
I was just chasing my tail. And as I'm chasing my tail, my finances were wearing thin.
Tyrone Isom Jr. says he worked with the village to purchase and renovate this building, only to be told his license was denied by Mayor Henyard. The complaint alleging a policy of choosing and denying applicants for financial and political reasons.
And in his lawsuit, it says that he feels they denied it for financial and political reasons. Whatever that may be, I'm assuming because he wasn't Team Henyard. So either that or Tiffany and whoever wanted the property to do it as they pleased, and so they're kind of just like waiting him out and maybe waiting some other people out until they just run out of resources to hold on to the properties that they want. And so speaking of waiting out people on properties, that brings us a little bit more up to date on one of Tiffany Henyard's recent fiascos, and that's Tiffany Henyard refusing to pay her landlord rent. And I say refusing to pay because we know that she makes more than enough money holding 2 positions, one in Thornton Township as a supervisor, making over $200,000 a year, and then another one in Dolton as the mayor. So I guess the question we're left with is why did she stop paying the rent?
Janetta Hull says she considered Tiffany Henyard a friend and even did campaign work for the Dolton mayor and Thornton Township supervisor. But things changed in 2021 when she was about to rent out this 3-bedroom, 2-bath home she owns in Dolton to a family and got a late-night call from the mayor.
And she's like, hey, this is Mayor Henyard. And I'm like, hi. And then she's like, I heard that you were renting your house. And I said, yeah. And I said, I have somebody that's moving in soon. And she says, no, they can't move in. because I want it. And I'm like, excuse me?
Feeling pressured, Hull says she agreed to rent the house to Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods. Henyard makes nearly $300,000 as mayor and township supervisor. Hull says things started to unravel this summer when she was forced to raise the rent by $200 to $2,400 a month because her property taxes went up again.
So with that, I had to equate that into the rent, and Kamal said that he couldn't afford it.
She says Henyard and Woods refused to pay the extra rent in August, then stopped paying altogether. Did they pay for September?
No.
Did they pay for October?
No.
That's why you're trying to get them removed?
Yes. If I push and go over there with the locksmith and try to change them back, I think that she's going to probably have me arrested.
So Hull went to court and filed an eviction lawsuit against Henyard and Woods. But Cook County sheriffs have tried and failed to serve that suit, both at the home and Village Hall. What position does this put you in?
A very hard position. I'm between a rock and a hard place, and I am fearful that I may lose the house. At some point, you would have to understand that karma is going to catch up to you. Just pay your rent.
But you guys need to get y'all office in order and stay out of the mess, because the clerk ain't nothing but a court reporter. That's what y'all do, report what we do at meetings. But yet y'all get in the mess, y'all go have secret squirrel meetings, y'all call meetings, being disrespectful, walk out, leave. That ain't what you're supposed to do. You guys supposed to be neutral, because that's all y'all job entails, recording things and making sure minutes are done. Where is y'all minutes? Y'all done been here, you been what, a year, 2 years? 2 years, and y'all ain't got no minutes done, none? Come on, man. What are we paying you for? And this is what I'm talking about, residents. When everybody want to fight, everybody want to talk mess, but ain't nobody doing their job, because everybody trying to do my job. Everybody trying to tell me what to do.
We don't control the village website. Whatever is posted on the clerk's page, whatever is removed, whatever is added, we have no control over that. Just for the record as well. I'm done, Mayor.
Please take classes to learn how to do your job. Moving on. Next, we have village.
May I be recognized?
Go ahead.
Okay. And so I'm gonna make this very quick, because you've already wasted enough of the people's time. As it relates again to the final judgment for the FOIA case, it's October the 13th, 2023. And again, as it relates to the website, the minutes are not on there because we do not control the village's website. Whatever is posted, not posted, added, or removed has nothing to do with the clerk's office. And also, as it relates to the minutes, as the village clerk has already communicated to you, we do not write word for word. We follow what the Open Meetings Act states. We don't follow what you say, Mayor. What the law states is what we write. Check the law and comprehend it, and you'll see why we write it the way that we do. It is a summary. We have been here for almost 2 minutes, and we haven't even gotten through, 2 hours. We haven't even gotten through the agenda. Do you expect us to write that word for word? I think you're looking for a transcriber, and that is not in our duties. We do not transcribe. If you would like a transcriber, perhaps you should address the board and add it to the budget. But myself nor the village clerk will be transcribing minutes word for word, and that is for the record. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna say this and we're gonna move on. Y'all need to be respectful. You need to chill out. Turn around. Girl back. Go on with all the nutball stuff. And that's the problem here. Everybody again want to clap back, and then when I clap back, everybody got attitude. Be respectful, Deputy Clerk. And your problem, hold on, you out of order. Did I not give you the floor? Deputy Clerk, you out of order. Deputy Clerk, Deputy Clerk, you're out of order. And that's your problem. People need to learn to stay in their place.
Now, the clerk's office, we're responsible for maintaining all the records of the village. But I want to share with you what my office is going through. The last board meeting in October, I wasn't able to make it, and my deputy sat in for me. And I think she did an excellent job. Yeah. And she's a young lady. She's 34 years old, and I'm really mentoring her. This is something I wanted to mentor our mayor on. But unfortunately, she wanted to take a different route. So, hey, my hands are just tied on that. So this young lady spoke up for our office, and what happened? Scott from maintenance called us and said, "Clerk, what code do you want to put on your office?" I'm like, "What do you mean, what code do I want to put? I have a code." He said, "But I'm changing it because you said someone compromised." I said, "I never told you anyone compromised my code. Leave my code alone." Well, he was instructed by Keith Freeman to change my code. So he changed my code. I come to work the next day. I can't get in my office because the code has been changed. Jason, who accompanied me because things are getting so toxic, and Barbara, thank you again because you accommodated us. So toxic, that same day, that Friday, Dolton police went to Deputy Clerk's home, her mother's home, and said, "We're doing a well-being check. Eris didn't come to work today." The biggest lie that could ever be told.
Let me just play my head. Okay. So you're from Dolton Police Department? And you're doing a wellness check? Yeah.
Her mother is standing there very startled because while we were in the office, her mother called and we were talking to her. But yet, if someone comes to your house, 2 officers, and say, "We're doing a well-being check on your child," what are you gonna think? Something has happened. This is how crazy things are. Her mother immediately called us and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay? 2 officers came here looking for you. Are you okay?" She's like, "Mom, I'm okay. I'm here with the clerk. We're fine." So, if that wasn't enough, when we went to office that following Monday, here come these same officers to our office, trying to serve her termination papers. First of all, if you're going to be terminated, I'm her immediate boss, right? I should have been informed.
Hello. Yeah, who's supposed to know? Who's supposed to knock the chair? No, I'm going to give everything that I was very well. Yeah.
Come on, Pastor, we gotta wrap this up, and we gotta escort you out. Get your coat and stuff.
Anything that comes to her,
You ask her to sign.
somebody have a problem. Yeah, would you
I
like
need to sign this.
No, I'm not.
You ask her to sign.
Somebody have a problem. Yeah, would you
I
like
need to sign this.
No, I'm not.
You ask her to sign.
Somebody have a problem. Yeah, would you like
I need to sign this.
No, I'm not.
And we've been instructed not to return to the building at all.
Would you mind walking out?
I don't know how much I need.
If you didn't know, Eris is appointed by me. And I'm the only person on the board of trustees that can terminate her, not the mayor on her own. So we're working on that right now, and trust me, she's gonna get her job back.
This guy is Keith Price, and he is the head of the food pantry. But Tiffany has assigned him to do a bunch of other jobs that he is not qualified for. He has not been approved for by the board. Anyway, one of her cronies. The thing with this guy is that one of the trustees, Carmen Carlisle, has a restraining order against him. So that being said, why is he even at this meeting? Because Tiffany likes to do things like this. She knows that trustee Carmen Carlisle has a restraining order against this individual, but yet she allows him to show up at the meeting anyways. And so in turn, what happens is that Trustee Carmen, because she doesn't feel safe with this guy around and whoever else Tiffany has around, just lingering, intimidating people, she wants to try to call into the meeting instead.
Next, the clerk would like to make an announcement. Go ahead, clerk. We need a motion to allow Carmen Carlisle to enter the conference by phone. May I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to allow Trustee Carlisle to join via phone.
Is there a second? No. There's no second because there's been over a month. You have not been here. You should have showed up to the board meetings and taken care of the business. All these games have to stop. We are here. You should be here. We cannot sit here and have phone calls. We need to be here to take care of the people's business. That's it. That's all. We're here, so we will proceed with this meeting.
We've done this before.
Okay, and you know the rules. Hold on. You know the rules. If you do not get a second, that means you do not have a motion to do so.
So you're not allowing...
I just answered that question, so. All right, moving on.
So Tiffany Henyard is obviously being very petty right here. But you know me, I can't just say it, all right? I have to come with some receipts. So what I did is I went over to the Thornton Township website and looked through the meeting minutes. And guess what I found? I found on multiple occasions that several of the trustees called into meetings previously. So this actually seemed like a common practice that was not a big deal. So as we see on the screen, we can see that Trustee Jerry Jones called in for a meeting. We can see Trustee Chris Gonzalez called in for a meeting. We can see Trustee Gray Everett call in for a meeting. We can see Trustee Gray Everett call in for a meeting a couple of times, actually. And then look who we also have that was given permission to call into the meetings more than once. Trustee Carmen Carlisle. Yes. So once again, you know, this just showcases the pure pettiness that is Tiffany Henyard. Another thing I found interesting on the Thornton Township website, and I actually noticed this a while ago, and that's the fact that when you go on the website, you don't see Trustee Christopher Gonzalez on there, and you also don't see Trustee Carmen Carlisle. I wonder why. I think that's because that's another thing that Tiffany Henyard does when she's being petty, when she doesn't like someone. Because where else have we seen this type of behavior? She's done this sort of thing to Trustee Kiana Belcher when it came to Kiana's picture not being up on the wall with the other trustees.
Former trustee Edward Steve, she still got Kiana's picture not up there. So all the trustees should take their pictures down until they put her picture up.
The picture, talk about, people watching, she took her picture off the wall and sit in the village hall, which is one of the most pettiest, childish things. Because she's still elected. Talk about, that's why at the last board meeting, you seen her picture in front. Talk about her taking the picture down.
So this one really bothers me because I don't care how upset you may be at me. I'm an elected official. And as an elected official, my name should still remain on stuff. My picture still should sit in the village hall as everyone else. I noticed that my picture had been removed from where all of the other elected officials' pictures were. I asked the mayor what happened to my picture. She instantly got offensive, like, what you talking about? I don't know what happened to your picture. So I didn't get clarity. So I waited about 3 days, and just because I don't want anyone to, be in any type of trouble, I went back up and I asked people that's there on a regular basis, y'all know what happened to my picture? The person started speaking and was like, oh, I looked at I noticed that and I thought it fell. And then said that they went over to it and they noticed it wasn't a crack, wasn't anything on it. And the comment was, well, when she walked past, because I guess for a period of time it was sitting on the floor. When she walked past, she kicks at it and then it mysteriously moved. That is about the outrageous, pettiest thing that anyone could display as a leader, as an elected official, but I'm entitled to have my picture up there. So if y'all see me with my picture on my podium, that's because I'm gonna bring a picture that I purchased and made to the size of my liking until my picture is back on the wall at the village hall.
All right, good stuff, that's good stuff. Well, it's not good stuff, it's unfortunate. That's the type of leadership we have.
Yes.
It's young, immature, and petty.
The mayor locking the trustees out of Village Hall tonight, forcing them to have a meeting out in the parking lot, all of which has Dolton residents shaking their heads in disbelief.
We as citizens, as residents of Dolton, have been shut out of a building that we pay taxes on, along with the trustees being shut out of this building.
That is longtime Dolton Village resident Minister Deborah White talking about what happened today at Village Hall, or more like what was supposed to happen. Village Board is on one side and the mayor, Tiffany Henyard, I'm told, on the other.
This is the second time she did this.
Edward Steve is a trustee along with 5 others, called a meeting 2 days ago to appoint their own legislative attorney to try to advance their agenda.
Trustee Norwood hosting the village meeting that is scheduled for September 2nd at 6 p.m., giving 48-hour notice. I just want everybody to see that it is being posted.
Reason being, they say, the mayor and her village attorney have blocked their efforts at every turn. Tonight, they say they were locked out of the village hall and forced to hold their meeting with a quorum, they add, in the parking lot.
We had a quorum, we had the clerk, and we had our board meeting outside.
Why the pushback on her part, you think?
Well, there's things on the agenda that she doesn't want us to pass.
Things got heated when some of the mayor's allies showed up, I'm told. Valerie Stubbs, a former trustee, can't believe what's going on here.
I think it's deplorable for her to lock out elected officials, not only the residents, but the elected officials also, so they can conduct the business of the village.
Mayor, this is Patrick Elwood from WGN-TV, trying to reach you so I can get some participation, some kind of comment from you in the story I'm doing tonight about what happened here out at the Village Hall. All of this has residents like Deborah White exasperated because she says Dolton has so many needs now and political infighting is not helping anyone.
We're sitting in the parking lot instead of being in a building that our tax dollars pay for, and our tax dollars pay the salary of the sitting mayor and the trustees.
So, to state the obvious, I have not heard back from the mayor as of the 9 o'clock hour. I'm also told she closed Village Hall a half hour early. That said, what's next? Well, the attorney representing the trustees says that he's going to reach out to Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul tomorrow morning, first thing, and ask him to officially investigate all of this.
It says everything's been moved out of your office. They've put you over into another section.
Right now at 9:30, a South Suburban elected official gets a rude surprise as she learns she's been locked out of her own office.
She believes it's dirty politics by another elected official who is now at the center of multiple controversies.
Fox 32's Dane Placco reports on another bizarre day in politics in Thornton Township.
So this is the assessor's office.
Cassandra Elston has been the assessor here in Thornton Township for the past 10 years, an elected position that helps residents deal with exemptions and property tax appeals. But when she arrived at work this morning, something strange happened.
This was your office?
Yes.
What happened when you tried to open it?
It doesn't work. I tried to look for some paperwork that I need to do. I can't find that. I can't find certain files.
Not only had Elston been locked out of her own office, but boxes of sensitive documents that she kept in her office were spread around the common area.
This was under lock and key before.
This was under lock and key.
And now it's just out in the open?
Now it's just out in the open. Did anyone move any of this?
We didn't touch anything.
Okay, so this was moved yesterday. There were stacks here, so someone's gone through it.
So who did this to you?
Well, I imagine this new supervisor, Tiffany Henyard.
Tiffany Henyard has become a political lightning rod since she was elected mayor of Dolton, making $46,000 a year, and last year appointed Thornton Township supervisor at more than $200,000 a year.
This is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, Supervisor Henyard.
Last week, Fox 32 and the Illinois Answers Project investigated how Henyard is using Dolton and Thornton Township tax money, employees, and equipment to fund a cancer charity in her name.
Right now, I just need to be able to sit down and do my work and help these taxpayers get these exemptions in, hopefully before the deadline, so they won't get these bills with these large numbers and just want to pass out.
Elston has been critical of Henyard's spending at the township and believes getting kicked out is political payback.
But this is not going to stop me. This is my job. This is what I get paid to do.
She's the assessor. She invited us inside.
And that's when township security officers stepped in.
Okay. So you're refusing to leave? Yes.
South Holland police were called to the scene, and they agreed with us that the assessor had every right to invite us into her
The
office.
news crew is here to do an interview on me.
Does Tiffany Henyard have any right to do this?
Not only Tiffany Henyard, but nobody has any right to do this to a separate elected official like the assessor.
The assessor's lawyer, Bert Odelson, tells me they plan to file a lawsuit in Cook County demanding she get her office back.
It is extremely illegal.
You can do and say pretty much what you want to say or do to me. But when you start doing things that affects the taxpayers, that's why I draw the line.
Former trustee Edward Steve, you know, a wise man was said that when you see people fall, don't laugh, learn. We're watching the fall of this administration, and you see these people coming in and they're investigating stuff. I don't want to laugh, but I want to learn of what not to do.